Hello everyone, welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Mike.
I'm Rainbow.
And today it's kind of a sad unit, Rainbow, isn't it? It's June, it's the end of the school year. That's right, people are graduating, and while that's all really exciting and wonderful, and it's great to move on to new things, it's also a time of the year when people say goodbye.
Oh, do you remember your graduation?
I do remember my graduation. Yeah, I don't remember crying a lot, but you know, I went to an all-boys school and we're like, yeah, I'll see you later. And I probably would have been a little bit more sad if I, had the different feelings that I might have now, but back then I was kind of a kid. But goodbyes are still very hard. How about you? Do you remember yours?
Oh, I cried a lot.
Do you still have all the tissue papers saved and the sad photos of all your classmates?
Yearbook letters.
Yearbook letters, that's right. You used to write messages in your yearbook.
Long messages.
Long messages to people you said you'd never forget, and of course,
I don't remember them.
You haven't talked to them in 10 or 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
So saying goodbye is part of life. It's often not easy, but it is something that we do in different stages, in different times, and in different ways. So we're going to be beginning a 3-day unit all about saying goodbye. So today, part A is saying goodbye to your classmate. I'll never forget you.
It's like, wait, what was his name?
Yeah, what? Who? Lola and Rudy are graduating from high school.
Can you believe it? This part of our lives is finally over.
Yeah, now we can move on to bigger and better things like college and our careers.
All right, so yes, the main title of our unit is saying goodbye, and today, part A, saying goodbye to your classmate. So let's find out who's going to be crying and using a few tissue papers as they say goodbye to somebody. Lola and Rudy are graduating from high school. Well, that's pretty exciting. This is a very special day in their young lives. When you graduate from high school, it means basically you're leaving high school. You finished all your classes, you've done all your tests, you've passed everything, the teachers are happy with you. There's no more for you to learn at this school, and so it's time to move on. Often when we graduate from high school, we'll go on to college or university, and then of course eventually you'll graduate from that. Notice though, this is graduate, we're using it as a verb, the same spelling, the same word. If we use it as a noun to talk about someone who did just graduate, we would have to pronounce it graduate. So Lola and Rudy are graduates, high school graduates, because today they are graduating. Yay!
Yay! Lola says, can you believe it? This part of our lives is finally over.
Their lives are over.
This part only.
Oh.
Sounds like high school was probably maybe tiring and difficult toward the end.
Isn't it always?
Of applying for colleges, taking tests.
Oh, yeah, all the stress.
Oh, I remember that time.
The important decisions you have to make.
And nightmares about that.
That's right, and you still think, I'm just a kid, I don't know what I want to do. But as she says there, yes, her life isn't over. No, they're not dying or anything like that.
This part.
Just this part, this phase, this chapter, you might also say. Because, yeah, going from high school off to college or maybe going off to work, it is a big change. It is a big time in your life. So Rudy, he totally agrees with Lola. He says, yeah. And he's kind of positive. He's kind of looking forward to this.
Yeah.
He says, now we can move on to bigger and better things like college and our careers.
Oh, that's big. That's fast.
That is pretty fast. When we use the expression bigger and better, we just kind of mean, different, maybe a little more mature, a little more exciting, a little more challenging. And certainly, yeah, going from high school to college or high school to being a working person, it is a big change, right?
Big deal.
Hopefully it's a bigger and better thing, but it's definitely a big change. College, of course, is the school that many people will go to after senior high school. College, university, that's another word we often use. It's where people do their advanced degrees, a Bachelor of Arts, a Master's, a PhD. If you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, you get all your special training there in college. And the other thing with colleges is they're often spread around the country or even around the world. So people who you went to school with through all of your younger life, maybe at that point they will be flying off to another country, a new life at a new college in a new place.
That's what happened with me.
So yeah, it's a time of big change.
Big change. So college is maybe 3 or 4 years depending on what country you're in.
Or longer. Yeah.
Or longer.
Yeah.
And then after your college, you can start to have something called a career. And a career is something that you do for your life that you're a professional at. So for example, you could be a teacher, you could be a doctor, you could be anything. You could be a construction worker, you could be an engineer. Career is something that implies longer term and more professional, so we would call that person's career. So college and career, these are big terms and honestly sounds kind of stressful for a high school student. I was not very clear about what I wanted by high school, but I just remember I was just as glad as ever to be done with high school. And now we're going to take a quick break and we'll continue to have our conversation after that.
I can't wait. However, it's going to be hard to leave everyone here.
I know the feeling, but you can still keep in touch.
That's true. Everyone is just a phone call or an email away.
Hey, I got to go. I see my parents in the crowd.
Oh, okay. So long and good luck.
Thanks. You too. See you.
Okay, so Lola is really excited to be graduating high school, but she's not all excited, she's also a little bit sad. So she says, I can't wait to graduate. However, it's going to be hard to leave everyone here. So probably she has a lot of friends in the high school and everybody else is going to go to different countries and different places in the world and they're not going to be classmates anymore. And I remember that sad feeling.
But she's still excited, right? As she said, I can't wait. You say that when you're excited. But yeah, they will be leaving everyone here. Not in fact leaving and going away. We don't really mean all the people will stay here and Lola will go away. No, she'll just not be going to the same school. They won't see each other every day in class like they have for many, many years.
Or ever.
Possibly even ever.
Yeah.
You don't know exactly.
Yeah.
That's why it is a big time in your life and a big change. Now, Rudy, yeah, he's feeling the same kinds of emotions. I think most people feel these emotions. Some people might feel them stronger than others, but everyone, I'm sure, is even just a little bit sad about leaving all your friends behind and all that stuff. So Rudy, he agrees. He's got the same feeling. He says, I know the feeling. I have the same emotions, in other words, but you can still keep in touch. Yeah, absolutely. People can keep in touch. It's actually really easy to keep in touch these days. And so if you have to leave, well, you're just not going to see the person in real life, but there's lots of other ways to keep in touch. We'll talk about that phrase in a second. But to leave, well, it's just to go away, all right? If you're in a place and then you decide to go to another place, you are leaving the place you are at right now. So every morning, probably you get up, brush your teeth, wash your face, have some breakfast, and then you leave home to go to school or go to work. And then at the end of school or at the end of work, you will leave school or work and you will go back home. In this case, though, they're not leaving just for a few hours. They're leaving school, well, high school forever.
Forever.
And maybe some of their friends forever, a really long time. And it'll be really, it'll be far in the future, possibly, when they get to see each other. But they will always, they say now, try to keep in touch. You always say that at the time you're leaving, oh, we'll keep in touch. But sometimes life gets busy and it's hard to keep in touch.
Yeah, keeping in touch. So keep in touch, it sounds like you're touching. Keep in touch. So you keep touching.
You're going, you're leaving. I have to keep touching you.
Yeah.
That would be hard if you go to another country.
It's like this, but not in person. So you're gonna keep in touch. So keep in contact with the person. So
keep in communication.
You might talk to them. You might text them. You can FaceTime or email. Or now we have Instagram and Line. So keeping in touch is just a way to stay in the person's life, like you're touching in real life. So a lot of people say that when you're younger. Oh, we'll keep in touch. Usually what happens is people go to different parts of their lives in the next chapter and they have new friends and they become different people. So it is true that we can keep in touch, but sometimes we don't. And honestly, that's just what happens in life. And it's a little bit sad, but it's also just a part of growing up.
Absolutely. And of course, the phrase in touch, we often use it in other ways to talk about to be able to communicate with someone. I haven't been in touch. How do I get in touch with this person? In other words, what phone number or what email address do I use? So when we use this phrase in touch, we're often talking about in communication, a way to contact that person.
Yeah, so Lola agrees that it's possible to keep in touch.
You can do that.
She says that's true. Everyone is just a phone call or an email away. So nowadays, of course, technology is very advanced and we can use something called email. Actually, I'm pretty sure that none of you probably use email. Even I only very occasionally use it, but email is electronic mail or our gmail.com, hotmail.com, yahoo.com. Most people use Gmail nowadays, but Gmail is the mail that you can use to write a long message or a short message to somebody, and you can send it on your computer or on your phone, so we call that email. No one really asks me for my email anymore, so I don't know if you'll be using that because you'll probably just send a line. But in the past, that was one of the fastest ways to get in touch was by email.
That's right. And of course, in the world of business, email is still very common. If you're getting in touch with people you don't know very well, you might not have their line or whatever.
Phone number.
Email is very useful, and phone numbers, of course. But yeah, you're right. Today, a lot of people would say, oh, I'll send you an Instagram message or a text or a WhatsApp or something like that. But yeah, all of these ways are ways that people keep in touch. So you're right, it is much easier to keep in touch now than it was before. Anyways, it looks like there's a little graduation party or ceremony is coming to an end. So now it really is, it's time to leave. It's time to actually get in a car or walk away from the school. And Rudy sees something, he says, hey, I got to go. I have to go. It's time to leave. I see my parents in the crowd. So we imagine this is after the big graduation ceremony. They've gotten their diploma, their special paper, and now, it's time to go with my family, maybe off to dinner, but I'm leaving my classmates for real right now.
For good. Lola says, okay, so long and good luck. So when people say so long, it just means goodbye. And good luck to you and your journey in the future. So that's kind of what you say when you don't know if you'll really see that person again anytime soon. We say so long and good luck.
That's right. And Rudy basically just responds in the same way. He mirrors that. He says, thanks. You too. Good luck to you too is what he's saying. See you, or bye-bye, or goodbye, or take it easy, that kind of thing. So off they go.
So here we see the word crowd, and Rudy finds his parents in the crowd, and so that just means that after the graduation ceremony, there's a lot of people, and then he's like, where are my parents? Oh, right there. So a crowd is a big group of people. So we can find crowds at movie theaters, at restaurants, at Taipei Main Station, and sometimes for me, I like to avoid the crowd. So if there's a lot of people doing something, I would avoid the crowd and I would do it later, or I would just do something else.
People mountain, people sea.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's the Chinese.
That's a big crowd. There you go. All right, well, that's all the time we have for you today. So I guess we have to say goodbye too.
Oh my gosh.
So
but
sad.
We'll see them soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sad.
Like
all right.
really soon.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye. Lola and Rudy are graduating from high school.
Can you believe it? This part of our lives is finally over.
Yeah, now we can move on to bigger and better things like college and our careers.
I can't wait. However, it's going to be hard to leave everyone here.
I know the feeling, but you can still keep in touch.
That's true. Everyone is just a phone call or an email away.
Hey, I got to go. I see my parents in the crowd.
Oh, okay. So long and good luck.
Thanks. You too. See you.
Hi， 大家好，我是 Stephanie。那我们今天一起看单字。第一个单字呢是 graduate， 动词毕业。Evan graduated from Stanford University. Evan 毕业于史丹佛大学。第二个单字呢是 college， 名词大学。Gina joined many clubs in college. Gina 在读大学的时候参与许多社团。说到 college， 也许我们会想到另外一个单字是 university。在美式英文里面呢，比较简单的方式是 college 的规模比较小，而且主要是学士学位学程。而 university 除了学士学程之外呢，它也包含研究所，所以规模更大。好，第三个单字呢是 email， 名词，电子邮件。I'll send you the information by email。我会透过电子邮件将资讯传给你。最后一个单字呢是 crowd， 名词，人群，群众。The girl in red stood out in the crowd. 穿着红衣的女孩在人群中显得格外醒目。好，接下来我们一起看今天的文法。第一个文法呢是 move on to something， 继续进行某件事物。move 有前进、移动的意思。在课文当中呢 ，Rudy 说 move on to bigger and better things 的意思是在他们毕业之后可以往更远大、更美好的未来前进。所以 move on 也可以指的是迎接下一段人生旅程、新生活的意思。那我们给大家一个例句，比如说 After working 5 years for the company, Emily feels it is time to move on. 为这间公司服务5年之后 ，Emily 觉得是时候该向前迈进了，就是应该换换工作的意思。那另外一种情境呢，也许是料理节目要做下一道程序的时候会说 Let's move on to the next step. 让我们继续进行下一个步骤吧。好，那第二个文法呢是 keep in touch， 保持联系。touch 在这里呢是名词，表示联系、联络的意思，所以 keep in touch 就是保持联络咯。Do you still keep in touch with your classmates from elementary school？ 你还有和小学同学保持联系吗？ Keep in touch 的相反呢就是 lose touch， 也就是失去联络。最后一个文法呢是 Somebody is just a phone call or an email away。只要一通电话或一封电子邮件就能联系到某个人。Away 是副词，距离、多远的意思。我们最后看一个例句 ：Miley's house is just 1 block away from mine. Miley 的家距离我家只有1个街区。好，那这就是今天的讲解。See you.
Hey guys, I'm Ian.
And I'm Matt.
And today we're playing a game called Word Drop, where we have different words or phrases on these 3 index cards of ours that we've never seen before, and we're going to casually work them into conversation. Okay,
That's
so
right.
you want to start?
I guess I will.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so,
Yeah.
I've been looking for some other work recently, so I've been applying to a lot of things. And I notice these days, more often, to apply for jobs, it's often like add like someone's line contact or just join some line group or also on Facebook Messenger and all these other things. And I think it's a lot different from when I was younger looking for a job where, you know, instead of these instant messaging things, everything was done by using email.
Yeah. I mean, I think people still use email. I still use my email a lot. But I do notice that in Taiwan, people love just messaging people online. They'll even want like different applications or a whole resume online. I'm like, how are you viewing this on your mobile phone? Like, you really should see it on a computer. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. But I agree with you. I think that another thing that has changed dramatically is like applying to go to college, where the applications now are mostly online, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can't remember if I applied online or not. When I went to college, I met a lot of friends, and I used to hang out with my friends all the time. I found that when living on the university campus, it was really easy to make friends. And because I had so many, I could always go around campus with a crowd of friends.
Crowd of friends. Yeah, okay. College is such an interesting time. I don't know if people here in Taiwan really experience the same things, because I think for us Americans and maybe Canadians as well, like usually we travel to different states or different parts of the country to go to college, you know? And so you have a really like an independent experience where I think a lot of Taiwanese still kind of live with their parents for a really long time, and then they kind of go to college nearby. But one of the great things is like, like, you know, when you have the ceremony at the end, because you're graduating from college, it's such a big momentous event.
Yeah, I think that's a good time in your life when you get to graduate, and you know you have your future ahead of you, and you know you're finished with that, so it's time to move on to something else.
Yeah, a lot of people travel after college. They have their gap year and stuff, and so you have tons of friends that you try to keep in touch with. And so yeah, you just want to keep in touch with these friends.
Yeah, definitely. I keep in touch. Do you keep in touch with your friends?
I do.
See you next time.